want to know like who's either they're making the picks or someone's making the picks and using them, and I'd like to know more about that and what their process is. But I'm not going to ask those questions because that's not what the fanboys want to hear. So I always try to be very big on transparency, whether it's good or bad. Just be transparent.
Welcome to the Betting Public Podcast, guys. I am one half the host of the show. You can find me at Twitter, at CMRondo. In this first episode, I had the privilege of talking with handicapper Nick C. You can find him at Twitter at Nick C Picks. But during the course, we had a little audio issue. Definitely my fault. But it was such a good conversation. I still want to put it out there. So if you can bear the audio, I think it's a good listen. And if you can get past that, or if you can't, just make sure to come back, like, and subscribe, because there will be more stuff with some better audio. Thank you. All right, I am here with Nick C. He is a professional handicapper, and he's joining me on the Betting Public Podcast here on YouTube. This is our first episode, so things are going to go how they go, and we'll find out how it is. Welcome to the podcast, Nick.
Yeah, thank you very much. Happy to be here, TP. Really excited about the opportunity and look forward to engaging and talking about sports. One of my favorite pastimes.
So one of the things about this podcast that's a little bit different is we're going to go over our review as far as our picks for the weekend. How did you do yesterday with the Monday Night Football game?
So the Monday night game is funny. I actually in my Discord I did not have an official play, and I post plays in 3 or 4 different Discords as part of my service arrangements. But no official play. I told people that if I was going to bet the game, I probably would do some combination of San Francisco money line and Debo anytime touchdown, and that of course happened when I didn't bet it. I just kind of watched the game. I wanted to see if the Rams were as fraudulent as I thought they were preseason, which they were. I took a lot of stake against them in their preseason win total. I have a San Francisco to win the West ticket, which I'm really, really happy about that win last night. I think San Francisco is historically dominated the Rams in the regular season. Of course, they lost the NFC Championship game last year on a fluke, but but regarding last night's game, didn't have an official play, but Niners looked really good, made me very encouraged for the rest of the season.
Yeah, so I actually was very excited for yesterday's game. I might have been the most excited I've been this entire football season for a particular game. There was so many indicators which said that the 49ers were the correct side. Now, I mean, there's correct side, wrong side, doesn't even matter. But when you look at the history between these two teams, it was evident that 49ers clearly were the right team. The one thing that I saw before I made my decision was interceptions. I mean, Matthew Stafford to throw an interception, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was when you look at the history between the two coaches, the Rams quarterback throws an interception every game. I saw it in my book. It was minus 118. I grabbed it Sunday night, and I couldn't believe it. And to be quite honest, when I heard how many people were on the interception prop, I said, "Damn!" I said, "This is not good. This is not good."
Want to hear that, right?
No, you never want to hear that. But I mean, look, it wasn't something that I would get off of because I assumed there was a lot of people on it, but it did make me afraid. Now, the other pick I did do 49ers -2. I didn't get the -1.5. I got the -2 at -108. And again, I felt very confident. Actually, after looking at everything and then just hearing everything, I really, really felt like San Francisco -2 was like, to me, I actually went pretty heavy on it. And it was my heaviest of the entire football season. I think out of the entire football season, I only have probably about 10 picks so far, and I did 5 of them this weekend. There was a little bit, because I knew we were going to do the podcast, and I wanted to have some content. No, because I have been a little bit more shy and relaxed on my picks because it's a lot of stuff going on. I'm starting to, get involved with the podcast and everything. So as far as my time's concerned, I haven't had as much time with the picks, but man, yesterday was, I loved it. I hope we get another week like this. It's not going to be every week that you're going to have that type of game. I felt so confident. I actually I was tweeting it. I was sending out messages to all my friends saying, grab 49ers. You want some free money, do it. And I'm not that type of person. I don't ever send out those type of messages. So, what about the weekend? Did you do any college football action or Sunday action?
Yeah, I'm a very passionate college football consumer and bettor. I've bet probably more college football in my life than any other sport. I absolutely adore having a Saturday full of college football. Did pretty well on the day. So the season for college football got off to a little bit of a rough start. We were down, I think, 9 units through 2 weeks, and then currently we are sitting at. Let me take a look here. I'm 36 and 39, but I'm up 2.55 units because of some underdogs that I've played pretty strongly. The college football weekend this past weekend was good. I had UCLA on Friday, a ton of ways, team total, money line, plus the points. I love the Bruins at home against Washington. That spot really showed up. And then I had a big favorite on Saturday night in Oregon. I have no respect for Stanford, so I was happy to lay the points in Oregon and take the team total. So it worked out. It was pretty profitable. It was a pretty profitable weekend, which was nice on Saturday. Sunday we did not do so well. On the year, I'm 21 and 13, but I'm only up 2.4 units in NFL. This weekend I went 1-3 though, which puts a little damper on the weekend. So things that went right. Thursday night I had the first half over in Cincinnati, which I loved. Got that for a unit. And then being a Browns fan, I should know better that when I think they're the right side, they're probably going to screw it up. And I went 2 units on the Browns money line, and of course they Browns the game in the only way they know how. For some reason we took the ball out of Chubb's hands in the fourth quarter when he's averaging 7 yards a carry, so they lose by a field goal naturally. Had the Jets Steelers under 40.5 for a unit. I got a great number. I mean, I bet this last Monday. I got almost the peak of the market at 40.5, and this thing closed at 37.5 or 38. And of course, it goes over thanks to Pickett coming in, throwing a couple of touchdowns, then throwing some interceptions. Still feel like the under there was probably the right side. And then Sunday night, I took it down with Brady. Again, I got the better of this market. My CLV was crazy. I had Tampa +3 from the Monday prior, and then they moved all the way to I think -1.5 by kickoff, and they took it on the chin. I mean, I was really impressed with Kansas City. I actually upgraded Kansas City in my power ratings. I think they might be the second best team in the league right now, and I'm putting them over the Bills when I say that. So. Yeah, it's an up and down season, but we do have some plays for this weekend that, of course, we feel good about, and we'll see what happens.
Now, you say that, and we are going to give out some free picks by the end of this episode. You mentioned Kenny Pickett. He actually is part of my favorite bet this weekend, and it's kind of a win bet. Generally not something I want to start off with on here, but I really feel really confident about this. It's just the prop hasn't came out yet, so we'll talk about that as we go. But you mentioned college, football. Part of my issue with college football, which is why I don't have too much, is there's so many teams and there's so many games, and I generally get overwhelmed with the amount of college football games available. I like it when there's only like 1 or 2 games on a Friday or a Thursday night. To me, I can zone in on those games. When it comes to college football, and it's going to go for like everything, but I'm talking about specifically college football. How much time do you actually spend breaking down, let's not just one game, but like the whole slate in general, so that when you do find the picks that you like, you're like, those are the ones. Like how does that process play out with you?
So I will usually stay with, when you're looking at marquee teams. So for me, you have the top 10 teams in the country. I'm probably only going to dig into really 3 or 4 of those teams. So I know are made up of. I know when to be on them. I know when to fade them. And then I go into smaller conferences. I love smaller conferences, and much like college basketball, I feel like you can get a lot of value in some of these smaller conferences.
Yes, I agree.
For me, it's the MAC.
Hmm.
I'm an Ohio guy. I grew up in Ohio. I love the MAC. And then it's the which used to be the WAC, but now it's called the Mountain West Conference. I love the Mountain West. Living out here in California now, I do get a lot of access to Pac-12 games, so I will say I watch a lot more Pac-12 than I used to. But a team that I really am key on is like Ohio State. I know Ohio State's offense. I know their coaching. I know the defense. Their team totals almost every week are free money, especially now that we're in conference play. Didn't bet them week one because you want to see how they come out of the gate. They came out of the gate last year slow at Minnesota, and then this year, Wisconsin team total was only 39.5, and they scorched it. Wisconsin, opened the game opened at 16 and was bet all the way up to 20, and they still scorched it. So I try to be very calculated when I'm looking at college football games. Now I watch a ton of college football, and I go back and rewatch games on Mondays from Saturdays if I want to because I have YouTube TV, so I'm able to do that. So I really like watching games that I didn't get to watch in full. Like one that I watched on this past Monday, I watched Fresno State UConn. Most people would tell you not to watch that game because Fresno State was a 24-point favorite, but they lost outright to UConn. So I had to see what happened in that game. I know their quarterback was out, but I had to see what was UConn doing, what is Fresno State doing, because now this week, I'll tell you, I'm going to lay the points with Boise State. And I know we're not at the free pick segment, but I can get Boise State at 7 right now, laying against Fresno State. I will lay the points.
So
I like Boise, and Fresno is in shambles right now.
Boise -7. He said it, Nick. Boise -7. I like that. I haven't looked at this whole slate, but I did catch a little of this Boise State last weekend, and I didn't really have an opinion, and I didn't come out of it with an opinion. I was kind of ho-humming it. I was just looking, but I know in the years past I've always been a big fan of betting Boise State. It's obviously they're pretty public. It's they're always on TV. Yeah.
Public team.
Yeah.
Blue Smurf turf, but yeah, I agree.
So, okay, I gotta. My next question. Well, let me get back to my college football first off.
Yeah.
I did really bad. I went 1-2. In fact, I'll have to look and see. I can't even recall who I took, but let's see. I had USA.
TSA.
Yeah. No. Well, okay. So I had, I did make a wager on UTSA, and I didn't make it official. I didn't put it in my Discord. So for anybody who is wondering where these picks are at, I have my own very own Discord that is free. You can join. Link will be in the description. Nick has a premium Discord, which we'll talk about here really soon. But he does have a free email group, so you can get right. So go ahead. Just talk about that for a second.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to. If anyone wants to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, my handle is NickCPicks, as it is right here. And I have a free email list where I'll send out free picks often, and I have a running tracker of those free picks, so you can kind of see. And then I'll also update the Discord standings in there as well. And I do have a Discord. It is $1 a day. You can sign up the same way you sign up for the email. It is through Gumroad, and that is a premium Discord for plays, for communication, for questions. If you have any questions for me, please hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram.
No.
Happy to talk sports with anybody. But yeah, those are your two options as far as any plays that I can break down.
As far as talking about college football is concerned, I had three. Basically, if you want to know, I had 3 picks. I won 1. I totally am with you when it comes to like the MAC. I'm a small conference type of guy. I actually hate the big conferences, the big schools. I don't like. I stay away from them at all costs. Like I don't even Saturday. I know a lot of people are very excited. I generally am not. I don't really get into it. What I did get into is I got into MAC football when they were showing them on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and that was great. That was
They're
great.
coming back.
Is it that was gr-
November,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, because you had Monday Night Football, then you had Mac on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and it took you right into
Yeah.
Thursday Night Football, and then you had more on Friday. I mean, you had football every damn day.
It was the
And
best. November is peak sports betting. I tell people this all the time. You get action, you get some Sun Belt in there, you get some Thursday night football. You got Pac-12 after dark on Fridays. The NBA's back, college basketball's back, hockey's back. Every NFL's going on. November is peak sports betting season.
yeah, football is like prime right now. I think,
And yeah,
I didn't bet the first week of football because I wanted to really see what was going on with the teams. But now we're in week 4, we're week 5.
yeah,
So
can't believe it.
yeah, it's like it's here. These are like yesterday, like I said, that was the game for me where I was like, whoa, like out of the entire season, this is the one where I was like, unload the truck. And you're
That's a good spot.
yeah, I mean, but it takes a little while, That's the thing, you can't just dive in every week. Even week 2, week 3, you want to have a little plays and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have a lot of plays if you feel confident, but for me personally, I just didn't feel confident enough, so kind of waited. But let's talk about why. Okay, let's talk about why it's a good investment to buy someone else's picks. Before you go, I'll just tell you straight up, I do not sell picks. I would sell picks if I did. I mean, I'm not against it. I've actually offered my buddies picks, and they never bought them, so I was just the hell with them. It's okay, but I've had this discussion with people, and they're some are really adamantly against buying picks. Now I'm for buying picks, and I'll tell you why. A smart person will know you're not buying picks to copy that person's picks or change that person's picks. You're buying that person's picks because it's an investment. And if that capper is long-term successful, all you need to do is copy what they're doing, and then you're successful. I think too many people, they want to buy picks, and then they want to try to justify their pick with maybe a bought pick, or they're just generally against taking other people's advice. Now, as someone that sells picks, how do you feel about it? I mean, obviously you're for it, but do you if you were to talk to somebody about picks, would you talk about it as an investment, or are you just trying to give them straight up advice and tell them this is what you need to do?
I mean, I've been pro buying picks at least for a while because I believe in the investment side of sports betting, and the way people can get away from them is emotions.
Mm-hmm.
It's much like buying stocks, and people
Yes.
say, "Oh, it's not the same thing." But no, I mean, if you're going to emotionally buy stocks and you're going to emotionally sports bet, you're going to burn your bankroll to the ground. And before I got serious about this, when I was in my teens and 20s, and online gambling was much more kind of secretive than it is now. I burned down a lot of bankrolls. I mean, I had parlays and teasers every which way. I would go to Vegas and bet 5, 6 parlays, thinking I'm going to cash these tickets.
Hell yeah.
I got serious about it in my 30s, and I've tracked it. And my whole thing is if somebody's not willing to show you their record, and if somebody's going to tell you they hit it a 70% clip, they're probably full of shit. The best of all time, Billy Walters, the best sports gambler of all time, millions of dollars. And yes, he did go to jail for securities fraud, but that was a different issue.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
best gambler in Vegas, the guy who would move lines intentionally on a Monday to come back and bet it on a Thursday, only won at a 56% clip. And never had a losing year for his life as a professional bettor, which says a lot. But you could see his record anytime he won it. And he had all the documentation to back it up. And there's guys out here talking about 80% winners, 100-unit plays, and you can't take them seriously. And I've fallen into the trap in my earlier years where I was chasing, and all of a sudden I was down units, and I was betting Sunday night for 5 units to try to get even. And you don't want to do that. You either like the Sunday night game well before it starts, or you're just chasing. And so for me, the point, getting back to the point, sorry, buying picks, what I see and what side I am, and I love to have those conversations, especially when people want to message me and ask the questions. So I think there's a lot of validity to it, and I will say, like, I buy pit. I have an account where I do purchase picks from a professional handicapper, and I track his plays, and it's been profitable because there's sports that I am not a good handicapper, and I will tell you 100 times. I know nothing about Canadian football. I know nothing about NHL hockey. I love hockey. I love betting hockey. I love watching hockey, but I do not handicap hockey. But I have someone who bets hockey almost exclusively, who is Canadian, so I think that helps. And I tailor hockey plays. And last year we had a profitable season, so I'm going to tail them again. And I'm not like embarrassed about that. It's not my strongest sport.
Well, there's nothing. Okay, so that's the stigma, is that it could be embarrassing, but I don't really think it is, because if you are really, really serious about your money, you're going to invest into. I mean, if you're really serious in investor, you could be really serious about money and not invest nothing. But if you are a serious investor, you're going to take advice from other people. Whether it be sports picking or whether it be stocks or crypto or whatnot. I don't know about you, but I definitely get involved with crypto and stocks and stuff. And there are people I listen to. If I had the type of portfolio that would require a financial advisor, you best believe I am paying a financial advisor similar. I would pay someone for picks. If you wanted to bet, like you said, hockey, I'm definitely on the same course with you. I don't really get into hockey as much. I watch it from time to time. I never bet on it. I said to myself, a few months ago, I said, this year I think I'm going to try to get into hockey and bet it a little bit. But the reality is that I'm not going to be any good at it. And if I want to at least try to win some money, I'm going to probably have to buy some picks from someone who knows what they're doing. And to think that, you can just bet on all these, sports and just, one is the same as the next is not. They're all different. They're all handicapped. In my opinion, they're all handicapped completely different. Like when I handicap football versus baseball, it's two totally different monsters. Basketball, a totally different monster, and it's not the same. So, buying picks is definitely something that I would recommend, especially, if you aren't just looking for advice, but you're looking to make money. Again, these are people who do it successfully. I
want to know, like, who's either they're making the picks or someone's making the picks and using them. And I'd like to know more about that and what their process is. But I'm not going to ask those questions because that's not what the fanboys want to hear. So I always try to be very big on transparency, whether it's good or bad. Just be transparent.
I seen exactly what you're talking about. If you haven't, you can check out Nick's Twitter page. But it actually put me onto it. I actually wasn't even thinking about it, and then I saw it. I said, this guy's got a point. It wasn't you that put it out. It was somebody else that put it out there.
Yeah, it was,
but
we know. Everybody should know Ben by now.
Well, so we went over buying picks. Like I said, okay, if you want to see my picks, they're all out there. Join the Discord. More than welcome. Nick has got his premium Discord free email group, and he's on Twitter putting out all types of stuff. So you can follow him, check him out, check him on it. Check me on it. Doesn't matter. But we're here. We're showing our picks. Quickly, my Sunday. Getting back to football, my Sunday, I went, I had the Raiders. I was good on that. One thing that I'm not going to get into how I got to the Raiders. I can't even really remember, but I did take live action on the Packers -6.5. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't know how I fell in that trap. Don't fall into that trap. Once I fell into that trap, this is what happened. And this is all anybody needs to know. The quarterback went out. I bet the Packers, thinking that, because the quarterback went out, who the hell's going to throw the ball? And sure enough, it didn't even matter, dude. It didn't even matter.
You don't know about Bailey Zappi, man?
I do know about. I didn't know he was on the team. He was a MAC conference player, wasn't he?
No, he was a Hilltopper. West
Oh, okay.
Kentucky, baby.
All right.
Conference USA.
I
love some Bailey.
I actually.
So much money last year.
I've heard the name before. you know, and but quite frankly, it was something, you know, I didn't put a lot on it, but it was afterwards I was so shamed. I was so shamed. I was like, I can't believe I fell into that trap. And
Yeah.
you know, so I had the Raiders. I took the Packers. Um, I actually threw a little bit on Buffalo once they were down by 10. But I didn't make that official. But you know, but the rest of the evening went very well for me. I had the Sunday night game. I think it was, let's see here. So I lost Detroit. Okay, so my Sunday went like this. Detroit, I lost. And you know the one thing about putting picks on Twitter is that you're going to get assholes who are going to start liking your tweet as your team is losing, showing you as like, oh yeah, I see you put that pick out there. Yeah, I'm gonna like it, even though you know. Anyways, and I had Vegas, my Green Bay pick, and then I went KC first half money line. That was another pick that I was very confident in, and I mean, they were winning by I think 14 at halftime, so that went well for me. And then I had San Francisco, and I had the interception. So my weekend actually went pretty well. The Green Bay pick was really bad, and Detroit first half, which, you know, looking back at it, you know, they got their ass kicked, but they only lost by 3 at the end of the game. It was a very close game, and if you were live betting that game, you could have made a lot of money.
I will say Detroit is going to be and has been for me. They're a dead over team. They have no defense and they can score with pretty much anybody.
I think they've hit overs every game so far.
Yeah, I would hit the over. They're the number one scoring team in the NFL.
Yeah, surprisingly, Goff. Oh my God.
And they're 1-3.
Yeah. Well, that just shows you, you know.
Yeah, I will say. I mean, I have my little Circa hat here. So a buddy of mine and myself entered the Circa Millionaire, and we had the Seahawks plus the points this week just because we thought more than a field goal was too much. With no Saint Brown or no Amon Ra, no Swift. I just thought they were missing too many pieces. But yeah, I mean we had a good weekend. I'm very jealous. You know, Kansas City went in and just. I mean, they put a mud hole in Tampa Bay, so that was an impressive win. You know, the live betting, we've all been there. I'll tell you, a live betting story, and this I don't deserve any credit for. I had Miami when they went to Baltimore. I had a pregame plus 3.5, so they go down 28-7 or 28-3 or something like that, and I'm like, oh, I can get a plus 14.5. I'm like, I gotta take that just to offset the other bet. So of course I ended up winning both bets, which I did not deserve because I think if you play that game 100 times, Miami wins maybe twice.
I had Baltimore that game.
What's that?
I had Baltimore that game.
Oh Jesus, I'm sorry.
Kicked my ass, dude. I was so pissed off that day.
I would be too. I understand. I single-handedly believe that game was solely responsible for DraftKings canceling that thing they had going where if your team was up 10, they would pay your bet out.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know.
I believe so many people had Baltimore and then they lost the bet. Like I'm sure DraftKings were like, no, Mark, fuck this.
Yeah, it's like a stupid thing to do. Let's get rid of this.
Yeah, so like live betting, yeah, I didn't deserve it. I will say that. Like Baltimore was the right side, 100%. So it's like live betting. You get into those traps where you're like, oh man, this is a great number. Like this happened and this happened. So I understand how that goes. And I've tried to limit myself a lot with live betting because I've gotten in trouble in the past where I've just been like, all of a sudden you're chasing, and it can be an interesting thing to do. So we'll see how this weekend goes.
Yeah, this weekend's going to be interesting. I briefly looked before we got on here. I didn't have anything, but we can talk about our best bets. You can go ahead first.
Yeah. Happy to talk about it, so I can tell you with some good confidence. Now, this number might not be available, so I hate to say that and give it out, but it's a 3 right now. You can buy it down to 2.5 if you want. I would still play it at 3. I'm going to go back on Bailey Zappi. I'm laying 3 with the Patriots at home against the Lions. I fully expect Belichick to be able to take away whatever best weapon the Lions have, like he does. I love the Patriots coming off that really close game against Green Bay, going home. The Lions going on the road after being, if the Seahawks can run all over you, I'm very confident the Patriots are going to run the ball down your throat. 17. I actually see the Patriots really just eating clock, knowing that they can control the game, knowing that they don't have to put it on Bailey, and then Stevenson can really just motor the game down and bleed the clock. So I'm happily laying 3 points with the Patriots this weekend.
Nice. That's actually, it sounds really good. To be quite honest, I'm kind of jealous. No, that's really good actually. Yeah, I hope some people really think about that. Take a look at it. Zappy against Detroit should be a really good one. Not just a good game, but like he showed something in that game. I mean, I was watching it. He had, he looked like a good quarterback just in general. I mean, there's no simpler way of putting that.
The biggest transition to the NFL is just like taking. He never took snaps from under center in college. So like that's his biggest transition.
Yeah, I like it, honestly. And I'm not just saying that. I'm going to look into that. My pick, so it's not out yet. It is a prop, and I'm not a big prop guy, but, when they do come around like that interception prop yesterday, it's something that it sticks with me. And something that's sticking with me right now, today, Tuesday, it is, and this might be a little ugly, it's Kenny Pickett for the Steelers is the QB1 now. He had a big game with Pickens, rookie to rookie.
Yeah.
And, I know a lot of people aren't looking at that. But they had chemistry and they had a connection as soon as Pickett came into the game. And immediately, I'm looking at that and I'm like, some way, somehow, I got to look and try to make money off of that, because I think you're going to not see a high total of yards for Pickens. And so as soon as that comes out, I'm probably going to grab it. I'm looking for Pickens to have about 70 yards receiving. So if you can get a total any lower than that, 70 yards, we'll see when it comes out. I'm sure they're not going to put anything. He doesn't even have a game that he has 70 yards in yet. I mean, he literally has just kind of come onto the scene slowly. And, if we were doing this show a few weeks ago, like I wanted to, I would have been giving out Jose Altuve scoring on Sunday prop. If you look at Jose Altuve, excuse me, he has literally scored one run on almost every Sunday of the baseball season. There's only been 2 Sundays that he has not scored one run. So there's stuff like that. Yeah, it's really wacky with stuff like that. You can't tell me when you're capping a game that Jose Altuve on a Sunday to score a run is something that, mix into some kind of model or something like that. There doesn't. So that's a trend. This is not trend yet. I think it's going to happen. So I'm going to go with Pickens. Anything over 70 yards, I would go up to. I think he's got at least 70 yards, about 6 to 7 receptions. And I would expect him to have close to about 90 yards this game. It's kind of going on a whim. So if it doesn't come through, you can say this guy, he's giving out crap picks. But if it does come through, believe me, that's a pick for the ages.
I like it. Yeah, I would say, I like it. Pickens is a very physical receiver. I loved him at Georgia. I really hated that he went to the Steelers because I'm a Browns fan, and he reminds me of Heinz Ward 2.0, which is just terrifying. But he's a very physical receiver. He's tough. He can go up, and get the contested balls. Buffalo does have a very good secondary. Obviously, losing Micah Hyde is a big blow, but Poyer is a top, I think a top 3 safety. But Pickens being the 2 or 3 receiver isn't going to get Buffalo's best. And I think they're going to end up throwing the ball a ton in this game.
Yes.
As far as the Steelers go. I think Buffalo blows the doors off the Steelers.
Yeah.
I think Buffalo, I don't hate the idea of laying 14. I'm not running to the window to lay 14. But Buffalo beats up on bad teams significantly. And I think the Steelers are a pretty bad team. And I'm not just saying that as a Browns fan, because the Browns are not a great team. But the Steelers have some significant offensive line issues. And if Von Miller is getting one-on-ones this weekend, Kenny Pickett is going to be running for his life. Pickett showed some poise against the Jets. The Jets brought heat. He did throw threw 13 passes. He completed 10 to the Steelers, and he completed 3 to the Jets. So that's good. You know, he's young though. You know, I don't think he was the right quarterback to draft, but that's that's just me. I was never a fan of his at college, so. But if he can do something with it, but I do think George Pickens has the very good ability to clear 70 yards this week because I think he's probably going to get 8 to 10 targets based on how much Pittsburgh's going to have to throw the ball.
Yeah, I look, like I said, this is, I'm going to look for this game to have some garbage time. I'm going to look for Buffalo to get a lead, and I'm going to look for them to kind of not play as tight defense. They're going to, lean back a little bit. It's going to give George Pickens some room to catch, and you only need him to. I'm going to guess that this line's actually probably going to come out somewhere around 40 to 50 yards. So I mean, I'm looking for Pickens to really just pick up some garbage scrap and get over this. I'm looking at odds. I'm gonna venture. Okay, so it's not out yet. I'm gonna say that you're gonna probably see somewhere around 49 to 50 yards at about minus 114 ish. So that's kind of what I'm gonna be looking for. If it's something way different, then we're gonna have to backtrack. But today, Pickens on Sunday. I like it. So that's what I'm giving out. We'll have more next time, me personally. But, that's the best I can do for you. So I like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot. So let's have a good weekend, all right?
And he's on my fantasy team, so I'm really pulling for him. Well, hey man, we're gonna have all the links down for Nick. Check out his Twitter if you're interested in his free plays. He does an email group, like I said before. He has a link tree with all his stuff. You can just check it out, and of course, he has a premium Discord. I highly recommend cappers who have not just a Discord, but show their picks for the entire history, not just like last 20 or whatever. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter to me. But check him out, and then next time we will have another guest. This is the betting public podcast, first episode, and we look to be around more. And of course, my links are all going to be in the description too. So check us out. Thanks for coming on, Nick, man. It was a blast. We had some technical difficulties, but hey, man, we just want to win, and that's all that matters. So,
yeah, I really appreciate it. Thanks for bringing me on. Hopefully, I can come back again, and we can talk some more football.
Yep, appreciate it, brother. And you have a good one. Yeah, you have a good one, and see you again.